I speak of Macondo, that town which in Márquez's vision rises from the dream of José Arcadio Buendía. It emerges like a freshly uttered word, newly minted and still resonating with its own potential meanings. Macondo is no mere location, it is a chronotope in its fullest sense. Time and space intertwine there until their boundaries cease to exist as separable lines. Time is ancient and fresh, cyclical and terminal, while space is provincial yet universal. It remains enclosed yet porous to currents of history and myth. Here polyphony achieves an intensity that demands attention, each voice speaks in its own timbre. Each bears a history, a social position, a worldview, each resists absorption into a single authority. The origin of Macondo, that optimistic moment of José Arcadio Buendía's founding dream, embodies creationist monologism. He desires order and scientific wonder, a centering vision akin to the Enlightenment's rational unity. Yet Macondo subverts such design from its inception. His magnets fail to move the earth, his alchemy fails to fix gold, the world refuses obedience. So the laboratory becomes no temple of truth, but a carnivalesque stage of human will and folly. Serious knowledge is stripped of solemnity, combinatorial play floats free from authority. This founding scene already foretells plurality, voices will oppose their founder, none will be silenced. Ursula Iguaran enters as counterpoint, her voice is a moral measure against his hubris. It roots itself in survival and practical labor, continuity of the family's everyday ethos. Her speech follows the body's rhythms, seasons of planting, birth, burial. Hers is an internally persuasive word, grown from experience not from abstraction. It refuses the disembodied theories that ignore practice. Ursula accepts time's repetition not as fatalism but dialogic recognition. Recurrence for her always means reinterpretation, each cycle hosts a new moral conversation between eras. So Macondo's first dialogic relation appears, not contradiction but countervoicing between temporal sensibilities. The polyphony expands as Macondo populates itself, a chorus of improbable voices. Gypsies like Melquiades arrive, half prophet half scientist, speech blending magic and forgotten vocabularies. Peasants repeat oral memories, officials speak bureaucratic tongues of occupation. The novel's pages turn into field of heteroglossia, coexisting social languages contending in shared space. The insomnia plague becomes a fable in oral cadence, narrated by omniscient yet intimate voice. The Banana Company massacre falls into bureaucratic report, dry monologic idiom of state. Remedios the beauty ascends in mythic register, an utterance beyond causal explanation. Every genre and speech type is appropriated and revoiced, none secure in authority. Thus Macondo becomes a living dialogue, a polyphony of existences suspended in a timeless yet perpetual circle. To walk through Macondo is to traverse a chronotope of banana plantations, gypsy tents, convents, ruined laboratories. They coexist, not sequentially, but dialogically, each space speaking to the others. The reign lasting 4 years, 11 months, 2 days suspends all work and calendars. It immerses the town in an extended threshold moment, time becomes heavy and circular. The manuscripts of Melquiades, written before events unfold, extend temporal concept toward prophecy. History exists as text, even before it is lived. This is great time, epics overlap and origins converse with endings. Myth and modernity speak without hierarchy. In Macondo, the carnival principle is no ephemeral eruption. It is the town's permanent rhythm. Life sanctions inversions, dead speaking to living, priests defying gravity in mass. Laughter is mode of breaking official forms, asserting grotesque truth against abstraction. Carnival liberates life from fear of finality, dethroning governance and religion. It places them in the square to be mocked, bodily, sensually, openly. In Macondo, carnival fills solemn events with ambivalence. Bodies comment on delusions of mind, physicality becomes critique. Carnival is vulnerable to monologic incursion. The Banana Company corrals centrifugal energy into capital's linear logic. The massacre of workers is polyphony's most violent interruption. A chorus silenced, denied in official speech. It is reduced to nothing happened, an authoritarian word erasing experience. From here Macondo bleeds color, rain destroys, houses collapse. Memories fragment, voices fade. Names persist, a motif of repetition denying closure. Each José Arcadio or Aureliano is neither same nor entirely different. Names are chains of speech, inheritance and reaccented context. Solitude is condition and discursive position. Some voices romanticize it, others fear, weaponize, or endure it. Placed in one narrative lattice, solitude remains polyphonic. Remedios the beauty. Amaranta. Fernanda, the women articulate alternative registers. Remedios's innocence refuses certain dialogues, a mute yet resonant voice of absence. Amaranta's vigil against incest ties speech to moral watchfulness. Fernanda's pretentious religiosity preserves archaic tongues, complicating homogenization. At climax, Aureliano Babylonia reads Melquiades's parchments, recognizing himself. Reading becomes ending, chronotope collapses into page. Reality is revealed as scripted, yet its polyphony lived through unpredictable speech. The wind erasing Macondo disperses voices, leaving them in reader's memory. They survive beyond author's authority. What Márquez achieves here is the novel's ultimate dialogization of myth. The miracles are told in tone of common gossip. The tragedies are narrated with calm inevitability. The sacred shares space with the profane, each adjusting the other's boundaries. This is essence of double-voiced discourse. One voice affirms reality while another ironizes it. The reader occupies double consciousness, believing and doubting. Participating and observing, constantly in dialogue with the text. Seen in long arc of literary history, Macondo is mythic apotheosis of dialogic principle. Dostoevsky's characters refused to finalize the other. Rushdie took polyphony into history's carnival, nations spoke through many tongues. Coetzee distilled dialogue into minimal exchanges of conscience. Márquez synthesizes these tendencies into a cosmos where dialogue is fabric itself. Gods, ghosts, capitalists, revolutionaries, lovers, skeptics share a stage without losing autonomy. Even in destruction, Macondo asserts unfinalizability. The reader leaves without closure, knowing meaning will change in each retelling. In each translation, each recollection. Wind wipes visible signs, cannot touch polyphony already in collective memory. The chronotope of Macondo remains a site where any voice may speak, be heard, be opposed. Thus, 100 years of solitude embodies principles I have articulated. Polyphony not as ornament, but ontology. Heteroglossia as historical reality of all speech. Chronotope as living fusion of time and space in narrative. Carnival as condition of life, not festival. Unfinalizability as only honest attitude toward meaning. To speak of Macondo is to recognize a world built from voices in dialogue. And so, imagining Macondo's streets, I hear ghosts' footfalls and marketplace shouts. I smell rain mingling with gunpowder and guava. I see on each face the imprint of countless utterances. In Macondo, nothing exists alone. Even solitude is a conversation. It is endless conversation, between living and dead, myth and memory, laughter and lament. This renders Márquez's work an eternal participant in literature's great dialogue.